It often begins subtly, this sense of diminishing physical capacity. Perhaps it is a slight hesitation before rising from a chair or a newfound awareness of the effort required to carry groceries. We might dismiss it as a natural consequence of passing years, a story we have been told and have come to accept. Yet, deep within, there can be a quiet disquiet, a feeling that something more profound is shifting, that the vibrant energy which once defined our movements is slowly, almost imperceptibly receding. This experience, known in modern terms as sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass and function, is more than a mere physical ailment. It is a gradual erosion of our vital force, a dimming of the inner fire that animates our being. It speaks to a disconnect, a forgetting of the body's innate wisdom and its remarkable ability to maintain and regenerate itself when given the proper conditions and understanding. This isn't about assigning blame or succumbing to fear. Fear itself can be a contracting force, hindering the very openness required for healing and renewal. Instead, it is an invitation to observe, to become intimately aware of these changes without judgment. When we truly pay attention, we notice that this decline is often accompanied by other shifts, perhaps a less resilient spirit, a mind that tires more easily, or a general sense of being less engaged with the richness of life. These are not separate phenomena. They are interconnected, reflections of an imbalance that has taken root. The body, mind, and spirit are not distinct entities, but facets of a single unified existence. When one aspect is weakened, the others inevitably feel the resonance of that depletion. The modern world, with its emphasis on convenience and often sedentary lifestyles, can inadvertently contribute to this process. We may find ourselves disconnected from the natural rhythms of movement and nourishment that our ancestors understood implicitly. They lived closer to the earth, their bodies were their primary instruments for navigating the world, and their food was often a direct product of their environment, simple yet profoundly sustaining. This is not to romanticize the past, but to draw wisdom from it, to see if there are principles we have overlooked in our pursuit of progress. The challenge, then, is not to reverse time, but to reintegrate timeless wisdom into our contemporary lives, to find a path back to that inherent strength that lies dormant within us. It's crucial to understand that this decline is not an irreversible decree. It is a condition, and like many conditions, it responds to conscious intervention. The feeling of powerlessness that can accompany muscle loss is perhaps its most debilitating aspect, more so than the physical limitation itself. But what if this perceived weakness is, in fact, a signal, a call from the body to pay attention, to learn, to adapt, and to actively participate in our own well-being? The initial steps on this path of rediscovery can, themselves, begin to reverse the tide of resignation, bringing a swift sense of agency and hope. This immediate shift in perspective, this awakening to possibility, is the first acceleration on the journey to renewed strength. The body remembers strength, even if the mind has momentarily forgotten. The quiet progression of this weakening can often mask its true impact until it becomes quite pronounced. It might be the enjoyable walk that becomes a chore, or the inability to engage in activities that once brought joy and connection. This is not merely a loss of muscle, it's a narrowing of life's experiences, a contraction of one's world. And with this contraction, a certain kind of sadness can settle in, a grief for the vitality that seems to be slipping away. This emotional burden further weighs down the spirit, creating a cycle where physical decline and emotional low spirits reinforce one another. To break this cycle, we must address not only the physical, but also the underlying mindset that accepts this diminishment as inevitable. The human system is designed for resilience, for adaptation. It possesses an extraordinary capacity for healing and rebuilding, if only we provide the right support. Think of a plant that is not receiving enough sunlight or water. It doesn't dramatically wilt overnight. Rather, its leaves might slowly lose their vibrancy. Its growth might stall. Its flowers might fail to bloom. The signs are there for those who observe closely. Similarly, our bodies send us signals, a little more fatigue, a little less stamina, a joint that complains more than it used to. These are not signs of failure, but communications. The body is asking for a change in conditions. The sigh that escapes us when facing a flight of stairs, the hesitation before joining in a game, these are the quiet affirmations of a vitality that is dimming. Yet this understanding itself is a seed of empowerment. The beauty is that, just as a plant can often recover with astonishing speed once its needs are met, so too can the human body begin to respond, often with surprising swiftness in spirit, when we align our actions with its inherent requirements for vitality. This understanding is crucial because it shifts us from a passive state of resignation to an active state of cultivation. Cultivation implies care, attention, and consistent effort. It is not about a quick fix or a magic solution, but about fostering an environment, both internal and external, where strength can flourish. The fast aspect that many seek is perhaps found not in an instant transformation of muscle tissue, but in the rapid shift of awareness and the immediate implementation of supportive practices. Once this internal alignment occurs, the body, in its wisdom, can begin its work of restoration with surprising efficiency. This journey begins with acknowledging the reality of the decline, not with fear, but with a compassionate and observant heart, ready to learn and to act. It is about reclaiming the stewardship of our own physical vessel, understanding that its well-being is intrinsically linked to the quality of our entire life. The subtle ways this decline manifests can also affect our confidence, our sense of self-reliance. When physical tasks become daunting, a shadow of doubt can be cast upon our capabilities in other areas of life as well. This is the insidious nature of sarcopenia when viewed holistically. It doesn't just steal muscle, it can quietly steal our perceived competence and our joy in active participation. Recognizing this connection is empowering because it clarifies the stakes. Rebuilding physical strength is not just about aesthetics or functional ability, it's about reclaiming a fundamental sense of agency and the freedom to engage with the world fully, with an upright posture not just of the body, but of the spirit. The path forward involves a gentle yet firm commitment to nurturing the body back to its inherent potential, understanding that every small step contributes to a significant shift in our overall state of being. Ancient nourishment. Now, let us turn our attention to the specific support our bodies require, particularly when facing this challenge of declining strength. While movement and mindset are pillars of vitality, the very building blocks of our physical form come from what we consume. There is an ancient understanding shared across many cultures that food is not merely fuel, it is information, it is energy, it is medicine. And in this context, when we speak of rebuilding, of regenerating tissue, protein takes on a particular significance. It is the essential nutrient for muscle repair and growth. Many are familiar with common sources, such as eggs, which are often held up as a standard. Yet nature, in its boundless generosity, offers us alternatives that are not only potent, but also resonate deeply with the philosophy of simple, wholesome living, a testament to generations who lived in close observation of nature's gifts. They understood that true strength was not a fleeting conquest, but a cultivated state, deeply rooted in the earth's offerings. There is one such food, a humble yet powerful gift from the plant kingdom that has been treasured for centuries in many Eastern traditions. This food not only matches, but can significantly exceed the protein content of eggs, and it does so in a form that the body can readily assimilate and utilize. I am speaking of tempeh. Derived from soybeans through a natural fermentation process, tempeh is a testament to the transformative power of traditional food preparation. The fermentation not only enriches its nutritional profile, making vitamins more accessible and proteins more digestible, but it also imparts a unique texture and a mild, nutty flavor that is both satisfying and versatile. It is a food that embodies the principle of deriving great strength from simple origins. Consider the soybean itself, a small bean yet packed with potential. Through the wisdom of fermentation, this potential is unlocked and amplified. This process, often involving beneficial cultures like Rhizopus oligosporus, binds the soybeans into a firm cake, and in doing so, it pre-digests some of the complex components, making it gentler on the digestive system compared to other soy preparations for some individuals. This is important because it is not just the amount of protein we consume that matters, but how well our body can absorb and use it. Tempeh offers a highly bioavailable form of complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids that our bodies cannot produce on their own and must obtain from our diet. These are the very aminos crucial for repairing muscle fibers that may have weakened and for synthesizing new, strong tissue. Beyond its impressive protein content, tempeh brings other supportive qualities. It is a good source of dietary fiber, which is essential for digestive health and can contribute to a feeling of sustained energy, unlike the peaks and troughs that can come from highly processed foods. A healthy digestive system is the foundation of overall well-being, as it is through digestion that we extract the life-giving nutrients from our food. Tempeh also provides minerals like iron, calcium, and magnesium, all of which play vital roles in muscle function, bone health, and energy metabolism. So when we consume tempeh, we are not just ingesting isolated protein, we are taking in a synergistic blend of nutrients that work together to support the body's inherent capacity for renewal. This holistic nourishment is a hallmark of traditional foods that have stood the test of time. It speaks to an intelligence in nature that often surpasses our attempts to isolate and replicate individual compounds. This ancient food, therefore, offers a powerful plant-centered way to address the increased protein needs that may arise as we age or if we are actively working to counteract muscle loss. It aligns with a path of gentle yet profound self-care, emphasizing whole foods and natural processes. Its simplicity is its strength. It does not require complex preparation to yield its benefits, and it can be easily incorporated into a balanced way of eating. This accessibility is key, as sustainable changes are those that can be woven into the fabric of daily life without undue burden. In rediscovering such foods, we are not just finding nutritional solutions, we are connecting with a lineage of wisdom that understood how to live in harmony with nature and how to draw strength from its abundance. The journey to reclaiming physical power is supported in a very direct and tangible way by what we choose to place on our plate. Mindful fuel. Having identified a potent source of nourishment, the next essential step is to consider how we engage with this food. It is not enough to merely consume. The way we eat, the mindset we bring to our meals, profoundly influences how our body receives and utilizes the sustenance offered. This is the practice of mindful fueling, transforming the act of eating from a mechanical process into a conscious act of self-care and respect for the body. When we approach our food with awareness, especially a food as intentionally chosen as tempeh for its restorative properties, we amplify its benefits. This begins even before the food touches our lips. It starts with the preparation, with the intention we set. Imagine preparing your tempeh not as a chore, but as a deliberate act of providing your body with the building blocks it needs. Whether you choose to steam it gently to preserve its tenderness, or pan-fry it lightly to achieve a satisfying texture, or incorporate it into a nourishing soup or stir-fry, each step can be imbued with mindfulness. Notice the texture, the aroma as it cooks. This conscious engagement signals to your body, to your digestive system, that nourishment is forthcoming, an offering to the temple of your being. This is quite different from hastily consuming a meal while distracted by screens or other tasks, a common habit in our fast-paced world that can unfortunately impair digestion and nutrient absorption. The body responds best when the mind is present and aligned with the act of nourishment. When it comes time to eat, consider creating a calm and settled environment. This doesn't require elaborate rituals, but simply a moment to pause, to breathe, and to appreciate the food before you. Look at the colors, the textures on your plate. As you take the first bite, do so slowly, chew thoroughly. This is a crucial aspect often overlooked. Chewing is the first stage of digestion, breaking down the food mechanically and mixing it with enzymes in saliva that begin to unlock its nutrients. For a protein-rich food like tempeh, Thorough chewing is particularly important to ensure that the proteins are made accessible for the subsequent stages of digestion and absorption in the stomach and intestines. Rushing this process means the body has to work harder and often less efficiently to extract the goodness within. Furthermore, mindful eating allows us to become more attuned to our body's signals of hunger and satiety. We learn to eat when we are genuinely hungry and to stop when we are comfortably satisfied, rather than eating according to external cues like the clock or emotional states. This heightened sensitivity helps prevent overconsumption, which can burden the digestive system and ensures that we are providing the right amount of fuel at the right time. When we are aiming to rebuild strength, providing consistent, high-quality nourishment in appropriate amounts is key. Tempeh, being rich in protein and fiber, is quite satiating, and eating it mindfully helps us to fully register this satisfying effect, preventing the urge to reach for less wholesome options later on. This practice of mindful fueling extends beyond the individual meal. It fosters a deeper relationship with our body and its needs. It encourages us to listen, to observe how different foods make us feel, not just immediately after eating, but hours later, the next day. Do we feel energized, light and clear, or heavy, sluggish and foggy? This feedback is invaluable. By paying attention, we can refine our choices, tailoring our diet to what truly supports our individual constitution and our goals for renewed vitality. Introducing tempeh with this mindful approach allows us to integrate it not just as a protein source, but as a respected ally in our journey. It becomes part of a conscious lifestyle where every act of eating is an affirmation of our commitment to well-being, transforming daily meals into moments of profound connection and self-nurturing. This mindful connection is perhaps as crucial as the nutrients themselves, for it ensures that the body is in the optimal state to receive, process, and utilize the gift of food. Body's echo. When we begin to nourish our body with intention, providing it with high-quality building blocks like those found in tempeh, and when we combine this with mindful consumption, something remarkable starts to happen. The body begins to respond, to echo back the care it is receiving. This is not always a loud announcement, but often a series of subtle yet significant shifts that collectively signal a return towards balance and strength. It is like listening to a finely tuned instrument. With the right adjustments, its true voice begins to emerge, clear and resonant. Learning to perceive these echoes, these responses from within, is a vital part of the journey towards reclaiming our physical power. Initially, one of the first responses you might notice is an improvement in digestive comfort. Because tempeh is fermented, it is often well tolerated, and its fiber content supports regular, healthy digestion. This might seem like a small thing, but a well-functioning digestive system is the cornerstone of vitality. When digestion is smooth and efficient, the body is better able to absorb all the nutrients from our food, not just the protein. This means more energy is available for repair and regeneration, rather than being consumed by the struggle of processing difficult-to-digest meals. You might find a sense of lightness after eating, a departure from any previous experiences of bloating or discomfort. This is the body saying, "Thank you, this is what I needed." Another echo you may perceive is a subtle but steady increase in sustained energy levels throughout the day. This isn't the artificial jolt from stimulants, but a deeper, more consistent wellspring of vitality. Protein plays a crucial role in stabilizing blood sugar levels, and when combined with the fiber in tempeh, it helps to provide a slow release of energy. This can lead to less fatigue, improved mental clarity, and a greater capacity to engage with daily activities without feeling depleted. This is the body signaling that its fuel reserves are being managed more effectively, that it has the resources it needs to perform. This renewed energy, in turn, can inspire more movement, creating a positive feedback loop where nourishment supports activity, and activity further stimulates the body's strength-building processes. Perhaps the most direct echo related to our specific intention of combating muscle loss is a change in how your muscles feel and perform. This will not be an overnight transformation into a physique of immense power, for true cultivation takes time. However, you might begin to notice that recovery from physical exertion feels a little quicker. Activities that once felt strenuous might seem a touch easier, bringing with it a quiet joy, a sense of lightness that had perhaps been forgotten. There might be a subtle increase in endurance or a newfound firmness in the muscles. These are the early signs that the body is utilizing the provided protein to repair and perhaps even begin to rebuild muscle tissue. It is the body whispering, "I am getting stronger." It is essential to listen for these whispers, to acknowledge and appreciate them as they provide encouragement and confirmation that our efforts are bearing fruit. This process of listening to the body's echo is deeply aligned with the principles found in many contemplative traditions, including those of Shaolin, where keen self-awareness is paramount. The monks train not only their physical forms, but also their ability to perceive the internal state of their bodies, to understand its language. This sensitivity allows for precise adjustments in training, diet, and rest, optimizing the cultivation of energy and strength. For us, in our daily lives, developing this inner listening skill means we become more adept at recognizing what truly nourishes and strengthens us and what depletes or hinders us. It moves us beyond relying solely on external advice to a place of inner knowing, where our own body becomes our wisest guide. The consistent inclusion of a supportive food like tempeh, eaten mindfully, sharpens this ability to hear and respond to the body's subtle yet profound communications. Strength renewed. As the body's echoes become clearer, as we consistently provide it with the right nourishment and listen to its responses, a more tangible sense of renewed strength begins to emerge. This is where the dedicated effort starts to manifest in more obvious ways, not just as subtle feelings, but as an enhanced capacity in our daily lives. The fast aspect of this journey, as I mentioned earlier, is often experienced in the swiftness with which this positive cycle can begin, the rapid shift from a trajectory of decline to one of active rebuilding. Once this momentum is established, the renewal of strength can feel like a homecoming, a return to a more vibrant and capable self. This renewed strength is not solely about the ability to lift heavier objects or to perform feats of physical prowess, though those may be welcome outcomes for some. More profoundly, it is about the restoration of functional capacity, the ease with which we can navigate our daily tasks and engage with the world. It's the ability to play with grandchildren without tiring quickly, to pursue a hobby that requires physical stamina, to walk with a confident and stable gait, or simply to move through life with less effort and more grace. This is the kind of strength that translates directly into an improved quality of life, a greater sense of independence and freedom. It's the feeling of your body being a reliable partner rather than a source of limitation. The beauty of incorporating a high-quality protein source like tempeh consistently is that it provides the essential materials for muscle protein synthesis, the process by which our bodies repair and build muscle tissue. Especially when combined with some form of regular movement or resistance exercise, even gentle forms, the effects can become quite noticeable. Muscles that may have felt soft or diminished can begin to feel firmer, more toned. There's a certain integrity that returns to the physical structure. This isn't about chasing an idealized physique, but about nurturing the body back to its natural, healthy state of resilience and tone. It's a strength that feels inherent and sustainable rather than forced or temporary. Moreover, this renewal of physical strength has a profound ripple effect on our mental and emotional well-being. When the body feels strong and capable, the mind tends to follow. A sense of optimism can replace feelings of vulnerability. Confidence in one's physical abilities can translate into greater confidence in other areas of life. The fog of fatigue can lift, allowing for clearer thinking and a more positive outlook, which naturally extends to our interactions, bringing more patience and presence to our relationships. This interconnectedness is fundamental. We are not just rebuilding muscle, we are rebuilding our overall sense of vitality and personal power. The discipline of choosing nourishing foods, of preparing them mindfully, and of listening to our body cultivates not only physical strength, but also mental fortitude and emotional equilibrium. This journey of renewal is deeply personal and empowering. It is a testament to the body's remarkable capacity for healing and adaptation when given the right conditions. Foods like tempeh serve as vital allies in this process, offering concentrated, wholesome nourishment that directly supports the body's efforts. But the true transformation occurs when these external supports are integrated with an internal commitment to self-care and mindful living. The renewed strength we experience is then not just a fleeting improvement, but a sustainable shift towards a more vibrant and engaged existence. It is a strength that emanates from within, rooted in a conscious and harmonious relationship with our own being, a strength that allows us to meet life's challenges and embrace its joys with greater vigor and resilience. Lasting vigor. Achieving a state of renewed strength is a significant milestone, a testament to the body's responsiveness and our own dedicated effort. However, the true art lies not just in attaining this vigor, but in sustaining it over the long course of our lives. The temptation, once we feel better, can be to revert to old patterns, to assume the work is done. But vitality is not a destination. It is a continuous practice, a way of being. The principles that help us rebuild strength are the very same principles that will help us maintain it and cultivate an enduring sense of well-being. This requires a shift from a short-term fixed mentality to a long-term vision of holistic health. Sustaining vigor means making conscious, nourishing choices a consistent part of our lifestyle, not an occasional intervention. Incorporating foods like tempeh, rich in protein and other vital nutrients, should become a natural rhythm rather than a temporary measure. This doesn't mean rigidity or deprivation. It means finding a joyful and sustainable balance where wholesome foods form the foundation of our diet, discovered not through restriction but through an exploration of what makes us feel truly alive and well. It's about understanding that our body is continuously renewing itself, and it requires a steady supply of high-quality materials to do so effectively. Just as a well-tended garden continues to flourish year after year with consistent care, so too does our physical vitality when we consistently provide what it needs. Beyond diet, the cultivation of lasting vigor involves an ongoing commitment to mindful movement. Our bodies are designed to move. Regular physical activity, appropriate to our individual capacity and preferences, is essential for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, cardiovascular health, and mental clarity. This doesn't necessarily mean strenuous gym workouts, unless that is what one enjoys. It can be brisk walking, swimming, tai chi, yoga, gardening, any activity that engages the body and keeps it supple and strong. The key is consistency and enjoyment, so that movement becomes a natural and anticipated part of our daily or weekly routine, rather than a reluctant obligation. This synergy between good nutrition and regular movement is fundamental for long-term strength. Furthermore, sustaining vigor requires an understanding that our needs may evolve over time. What works perfectly for us in one phase of life may need adjustment in another. This calls for continued self-awareness, that inner listening we spoke of earlier. Are we still feeling energetic? Is our digestion comfortable? Are we recovering well from activity? The body provides constant feedback. By staying attuned to these signals, we can make small, proactive adjustments to our diet or lifestyle as needed, rather than waiting for significant issues to arise. This adaptability is a hallmark of true, lasting health. It's about being in an ongoing dialogue with our body, responding with wisdom and care to its changing requirements. Perhaps most importantly, lasting vigor is supported by a mindset of patience and self-compassion. There will be times when we deviate from our intentions, times when life presents challenges that make it difficult to maintain our practices perfectly. In these moments, it is crucial to avoid harsh self-criticism, which only depletes our energy. Instead, we can approach these lapses with understanding, gently guiding ourselves back to the path of well-being. The journey of health is not a straight line. It has its ebbs and flows. True strength includes the resilience to navigate these fluctuations with grace and to reaffirm our commitment to self-care without judgment. By embracing these principles, consistent nourishment, mindful movement, adaptability, and self-compassion, we transform the pursuit of health from a temporary project into a lifelong art of cultivating vibrant, lasting vigor. This ensures that the strength we build today becomes a steadfast companion for all our years to come. Stillness within. As we cultivate physical strength and lasting vigor through mindful nourishment with foods like tempeh and through consistent conscious living, we may discover an even more profound benefit unfolding within us, a deeper sense of inner stillness. This might seem counterintuitive, as we often associate strength with outward action and dynamism. Yet, a truly healthy and resilient body, one that is not constantly struggling with discomfort, depletion, or imbalance, provides a stable foundation for a calm and focused mind. When the physical vessel is well tended, it ceases to be a source of distraction and agitation, allowing the inherent stillness within our consciousness to emerge more clearly. Consider the state of a body that is weak, easily fatigued, or in chronic discomfort. It constantly sends signals of distress to the mind, creating a backdrop of unease that can make it difficult to concentrate, to feel peaceful, or to connect with our deeper selves. The mind becomes preoccupied with the body's complaints, its limitations. Energy that could be used for creative thought, for compassionate engagement with others, or for quiet contemplation is instead consumed by managing physical deficits. In this way, a weakened body can inadvertently cloud the mind and disturb the spirit. This is why the path of physical cultivation, in many wisdom traditions, is seen not as an end in itself, but as an essential preparation for deeper inner work. When we actively reverse this trend, when we build a body that feels capable, energetic, and at ease, we liberate a significant amount of mental and emotional energy. The nervous system becomes more balanced. There is less internal noise. This doesn't mean all challenges disappear from life, but our capacity to meet them with equanimity is enhanced. A strong, well-nourished body becomes a quiet and reliable servant to the mind and spirit, rather than a demanding master. It allows us to sit more comfortably in meditation, to engage in our work with greater focus, or simply to experience moments of quiet presence with less internal friction. This is a subtle but incredibly powerful shift. The discipline involved in mindfully choosing our food, preparing it with care, and eating with awareness also cultivates qualities like patience, presence, and self-regulation. These are the very same qualities that support a meditative mind. The act of saying no to impulsive, less nourishing choices and yes to what truly supports our well-being is itself a training in mindfulness and discernment, forging a resilience against the scattered energies of the modern world. This training, practiced daily at the dining table, extends into other areas of our life, helping us to navigate our thoughts and emotions with greater skill and less reactivity. The strength we build in our muscles becomes a metaphor for the inner strength we cultivate in our character, a resilience that is both firm and flexible. Ultimately, the journey of reclaiming physical vitality through practices such as incorporating life-affirming foods like tempeh is about more than just fighting sarcopenia or looking better. It is about creating a harmonious inner environment where our true nature can flourish. A strong body supports a clear mind, and a clear mind allows us to connect with the inherent stillness and peace that reside at the core of our being. This stillness is not an empty void, but a source of profound wisdom, compassion, and joy. It is the wellspring from which a truly meaningful and fulfilling life arises. So, as we nurture our physical form, let us remember this deeper purpose: to build not only a temple of strength for our body, but also a sanctuary of stillness for our spirit. This, perhaps, is the most powerful insight, that the path to outer strength can lead us to the discovery of an unshakable peace within. This journey we have explored, from understanding the silent creep of weakness to embracing nature's profound nourishment, is ultimately a journey back to ourselves. It is a reclaiming of an innate power within you, a power obscured but never lost. The path to renewed vitality, to a body that serves with strength and a mind that rests in stillness, is paved with simple, conscious choices. made consistently with love for the vessel that carries you. The incredible potential for transformation lies not in some distant secret, but in accessible wisdom and your own inherent intelligence. Embrace this path. Trust your capacity to heal and grow stronger, not just in muscle, but in spirit. The greatest strength is the quiet confidence of knowing you actively shape your vibrant well-being, meeting each day with energy, clarity, and peace. This true power is available to you now.